I am all ears. The Ghost Fancast.
Hello, welcome back to the I'm All Ears podcast with me, Alva. Today I'm joined back again with Alana and Katie, and Cammy's joining us for the second part of the Tobias Forge previous projects episode number in question to be confirmed, because we don't know if we've split the Repugnant one in two yet, or if this one is even going to be split into two, because I've got a lot to say on this. In this episode, we're going to be covering Subvision mostly. I'm going to shout out quickly, as an honourable mention, Crash Diet. But there's not a lot to say on this. He was kind of there for a couple of years, did a few demos, a few live shows, but Crash Diet have gone on to become their own thing. Yes, some beautiful pictures.
I love that kind of glam era.
Oh, I need more. Well, if you know anything about me, I am a slag for anything glam rock, which will sort of tie into what I'm about to talk about next, because just before we get on to Subvision, we got to mention a band called Plastic Head, and this was the first early version of Subvision. Now, they had one demo released, which contained 3 songs: Body Voltage, which we'll get onto later, Warning, which was later scrapped, and Last Night. This then developed into Subvision, doing an EP called Brilliant Music for Stupid People, and this had the same... I know, right? This had the same track listing as the Plastic Head demo. But then, after that, this is where I thrive. We get the release. I forgot the fucking release date. Was it 2004? Let me pull it up. What do I have the copyright? 2003, it was copyrighted. I've got the CD right here because I'm blessed. Yeah, it was released in 2003. So, Pearls for Pig Snops. This is my favourite just because I am a Guns N' Roses girly, a Motley Crue girly. But however, we have got to point out that obviously so far So Noir is a much better produced track.
Oh, yeah.
However,
right.
This is the album I want to, if I ever get to sit and talk to Tobias about anything, this is the album, or EP rather, that I want to talk about. Because first up, what the fuck is a pig snwap? Because my friend M, I tweeted about this, and she said that this is a direct quote that I've got. I'm guessing that snwap is some sort of phonetic writing of snop, which is, but in an American accent. Snop meaning, brackets of course, Willy in Swedish. I fucking hate him.
It has to be a dick reference. If you're confused about what a reference for is that he's written, it's probably a dick reference.
Probably, yeah.
It's probably sex related.
Yeah. Horny little shit.
So what I thought we'd do is we'll go through this track by track. There's only 5. Should be more because it's a fucking masterpiece, if I'm honest, of this era. What are y'all's opinions on this album though first?
I think it's funny. I love it.
I really like it. I haven't listened to it as much as, like, Repugnant's definitely where my heart lies with his earlier stuff. But I have listened when I do really enjoy it. It sounds like they're having fun. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like everybody's having a blast. And I think that's the best way of any EP or record is at least everyone's having fun. You know?
Right. Yeah. So. Out of the whole album, I don't think I've listened to a lot of the songs as much as I do with So Far Noir. But I do love the 3rd track in this album a lot.
We'll get onto that. So first up on the album, there's Body Voltage. And I'm not going to go through everything lyric by lyric, but what I've done is I've pulled up a few highlights. This is a very sort of, you can tell it's inspired by sort of late 80s sort of GNR type of era music, like Appetite for Destruction. It's very like in your face glam metal. The lyric I've decided to highlight is, these volts are even tickling my loins. I feel like kicking in some groins. Are you horny or do you want to fight? I don't know what's going on here.
Both.
I guess it's both, yeah.
The next one I pulled up is, sparkling brainwaves are hitting up the steam. If it only could get unleashed with cream, and I can't fucking get rid of this suffocated feeling. It just sounds like he's ready to nut.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is all very on brand for Tobias.
Yeah.
He just finds fancy ways to talk about just like being like like sexually frustrated.
Next up, we got Alienor. And
Mhm.
apparently, the name of this is two girls combined of who broke his heart. And I'm thinking like Eleanor and Ali, but neither of these are like Swedish sounding. This one's like kind of out of the whole EP. This is a little bit more like So Far So Noir, where it's kind of like heartbroken, whereas the rest are just a bit more like dumb glam metal music.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, track 3. The national anthem. Put your hands on your hearts. Pony Tune.
In Poonie Tune we trust.
In Pony. So first off, the song starts off with like a dick description.
Wonderful.
Where he's like, it's not long, yet pretty thin. And then bro's going on about like some fucking computer software company. Like, what the fuck has that got to do with anything? I'm so confused. And who taught this man the word poontang? This is the song that I need to sit down and talk to this man about. I've got so many questions.
It's such a good song though. It's
so good.
It's fun and it's catchy.
It's kind of misogynistic, but I'm here for it. Like I'm giving
It's
him a
fine.
pass.
Yeah.
Just
That's
this
fine.
one. You said, you know, how did he learn the word poontang? Didn't he say in an interview once that when he was a kid, he had an American pen pal that
Oh,
was
maybe.
kind of how he was learning American English. And his English teacher at school was like really mad at him. So I mean,
I love that whole thing about him saying like, I feel like I should have passed English because I was writing English. And they're like, no, you need to speak it as well. And he's like, no.
And this is the English that he's writing though. This is the
Yeah.
English that he's writing.
10 out of 10.
I claim my right to get some poontang.
It's so good.
This is it's only really done in an ironic way that this is my favorite poontang song. This is my favorite.
This is my favorite. This is Alva's seal of approval of a song that includes the word poontang in it.
This is my favorite Subvision song. There are better songs out there, but it's just so fucking funny.
This is the most entertaining song, because once we get to So Far So Noir, then we're just getting into the emo
Bad
bitch
boy.
era.
yeah.
Man took the time to sit down and write this. Is all I'm saying.
And it's
He was-
good.
he was-
It sounds good though.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
he was
catchy.
just. Also, I love in the lyric sheet how big Tang is.
Yeah, I've got it here next to me.
It's huge. Like, it's just so and it's also like outside of the names of the songs, it's the biggest word on the page. Outside of the one he wrote "No Way" in the next song, but like you know, like he just loved that word. I can imagine when he heard it for the first time, he was like, "Amazing!" English was so good.
So funny.
Well, speaking of like the writing on the tracks, I haven't really wrote down any lyrics for PCP, which is track 4, which actually apparently stands for Politically Correct Parade. And it's the way he writes on the lyric sheet. Like it's not necessarily grammatically incorrect. I think it's the way like he put like "we be no simpleton stupid," but he's typed "stupid" with like a double O, and then like he's just wrote his own little notes on. Like at the end, it's like just got improvise. And it's like, yeah, the reader's going to read that and know exactly what you mean. But it's like, I kind of get what this song's about, but it's also like, it's got comrade, it's talking about, or comrade rather, talking about like, yeah, banners are red and our blood may run blue. And it's like, is this about communism or something?
Well, if you look at the way the symbols in the PCP, it's got a target and also like a little anarchy A. It looks like
Oh,
a little star. So like it is. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know the words to any of this thing, so I'm just looking at this. Like you're hearing my thoughts as a fly. But it's probably his idea of the fact that people writing like he wants to just write clearly he just wants to write a fun album,
Yeah.
and maybe somebody has said to him, you need to say something, you need to have like you need to like put something like into the world that's useful. And he's like, no, I don't. You know what I mean? I can talk about pussy if I like.
This is his anarchy in the UK. by the
Yeah.
sounds of it.
Yeah, I guess it's him. This is fine. Here it is. You know, like
Mm.
yeah, I think it's funny. Like it's great.
But then we get onto the final track, Last Night. And again, this is just him being like, blonde bitches, yeah. I will say there's a line here where it's yet to dip old John into the lagoon of blue, which I don't know if this is an English slang, but from what I remember of like an English slang, I'm pretty sure like if you say, oh, me old John, that usually means you dick.
Yeah. Also, it's like there is this slang, dip the wick
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So it is probably double entendre. You know. Yeah.
Another note I made was, what the fuck is a canine earwig?
What?
What?
He says, let me pull it up. I faced the canine earwig that had stranded my bed.
A dog? Calling somebody a dog, maybe? Like.
But then earwig? This is what I mean. I need to sit down with this man and discuss because
Yeah,
He probably
of
doesn't
this.
even know himself.
mean.
He'd probably like,
And then he just randomly in the middle of the song goes, "Take me away, gay." I fucking hate him.
Grammy award winner for best rock song, Tobias Forge, everybody. Yeah.
Clearly, he had some workshopping to do.
Yeah.
But then we go on to the Killing Floor EP.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to dip into this one too much because most of the songs feature on the following album, which has The Killing Floor, Radioactive Man, which I think is underrated and should have gone on the album.
Yeah.
Necropolis, which is my favorite Subvision song ever, and I'll get onto that later. And then fucking fantastic cover of Love Is a Fire, which is from the Warriors soundtrack originally. It was so good.
Yeah. Like that cover makes me really want him to get another female voice into a Ghost album at some point. I would
That
love
as a
to hear
feature.
him. Yeah, as a feature, you know, like because there is that wonderful "He Is" cover remix that he did with how's the girls thinking, and he works so well with a female voice, and I would love to hear like a fully fleshed out, current production level, collaboration with somebody. It's like it's such a good cover. Again, amazing covers. Like he's just done amazing covers his whole life. Like
Fucking real.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, he's like, even outside of Ghost, he's always been able to do like a really good cover. Like all of his covers have always been good.
because we kind of touched on the Morbid cover yesterday with
Yeah.
Repugnant, where he basically had to like decipher
it-
what he was saying and make it up as he was going.
But then we finally get onto the actual recorded EP of So Far So Noir. And I listened to this the first ever time I went to Linköping. Like I was on the train from Stockholm to Linköping to go visit for the first time, and I had this on. So I have like a lot of nostalgia with this, and I kind of feel the Linköping vibes whenever I hear this album. But like, who hurt this man? Apparently 2 women, but who fucking hurt this man? He is so
Yeah.
fucking heartbroken.
It's such a good album. I really liked it. I love Room 611. Like that's my favorite.
Well, that's what I was going to start next, and we kind of talked about this yesterday off camera.
Yeah.
About a couple of theories of what Room 611's about. The one that I couldn't get on board with was that it was about him cheating, because it just doesn't sound like, I don't know, I just don't get that vibe from the lyrics.
No.
Yeah, no. And we did talk about it, but like my personal theory is that it's about he was in love with someone who didn't feel the same way. Like it was a casual thing for them, and that's he found out, in room 611.
I want to know which hotel it is, because I want to go there and stay in that one.
This
Like,
is where
this is where
Tobias Forge got his heart broken.
Yeah.
And just feel the heartbreak vibes.
One thing I will say about his writing, even with Subvision, I feel like if he had kind of went down a more radio friendly style of writing, I feel like Subvision probably would have done okay at that time, you know. But even in his writing in Subvision, he's very for Lady Morgue, like he has that line where it's like your withered uterus is your sorcery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There, like that's stuff that most people would be like, what the fuck, but I just love the way he writes. I think like he's got such a good like we joke about like like some of the absolute batshit things he writes, but he has such a like great like way of like even in the most batshit lyric, you like you can kind of get what he's getting. You can see the picture he's painting, and you're like, oh, okay, And
Yeah.
it's a very unique way of doing it. He has a very unique writing style, you know.
Especially because the sound he was going with at the time was very contemporary. Like it's very Kaiser Chiefs, Franz Ferdinand,
Yeah.
That kind of, especially in 2005, what was going on.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think I remember somewhere in an interview that he did like specifically mention Franz Ferdinand, like
Mm.
which Franz Ferdinand was my favorite band before Ghosts. So like
Mhm.
I don't it's kind of like how did Subvision get from like Guns N' Roses like glam rock to Franz Ferdinand like pop
Heartbreak.
rock. Yeah. Like
Twice, and he's like, why does this keep happening to me? This doesn't feel glam rock anymore, guys.
the world is just not glam anymore.
Well, I'm talking about the way he writes. The next song, "The Killing Floor," the one that I highlighted because I thought it was fucking genius, where he says, "In between what remains of my organs and brains, there's a fiery pulse rushing in my veins." And it's like that's one fancy way to talk about your heart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then it's kind of sad where he's like, "Am I supposed to walk alone?" And it's like, "Forever alone."
He was so emo during this era. He was so fucking emo.
I mean, the first time I listened to So Far So Noir, I cried. It was like,
Aw.
oh, I was not expecting this. This is very heartbreaking. Yeah, definitely going through it, man.
Like, you all right, bud? How you doing over there?
Not great.
Oh,
Kleenex.
it's okay,
For
bud.
many reasons.
Clean up and I'll Tobias.
The next song is Scenario.
I love
I love
Scenario,
this song.
Scenario. I read a thing once, I can't remember where it was, but it was someone trying to analyze the whole album, and they said that the sort of guitar rhythm was giving like stabbing, as in being stabbed in the back, and I thought that was fucking genius if that is the case.
Yeah.
And also, why are you seeing Barry Manilow? Do you need help? Do you need to talk to
The man-
someone about that?
The man likes Barry Manilow.
Just
I
having
mean-
hallucinations.
I don't know. This kind of isn't related, but I always think about like the joke of how like they bring up that lyric like I see Barry Manilow, and then it's like they compare like Copia's outfits to like Barry Manilow's like jackets and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like I see Barry Manilow.
Yeah, but it's
There
the
he
same
is.
designer.
There he
It's
is.
Tom Baker does both of them, which is
I
ironic.
know, but it's funny how he went to Tom Baker, who just so happens to do Barry Manilow's jackets, and his outfits are very reminiscent to Barry Manilow's outfits.
Right?
So
Um,
he's always seen Barry Manilow.
Always. Then we got Cartwheeling the Void, which to be honest, I haven't wrote anything on this because it's not my fave. I don't know if anyone has got anything to say on this one.
No, it's like it's kind of one of the ones I don't listen to as much.
Yeah, it's okay,
Sorry, bestie.
It's very that one there definitely feels the most simple because it's not
Yeah.
there's not a
Mhm.
lot to it. It repeats a lot. It definitely feels like the filler song on the album. Like we need one more song in here because I'm a weirdo who knows exactly how long a vinyl has to be. So if it gets made into a vinyl, I need one more song. Here's Cartwheel in the Void. Fuck it, it'll work.
Yeah. But then we go on to Lady Morgue, which was technically.
Oh, I love that song.
I'm not a right hot take. I'm not a massive fan of it. What's the Passive Flora version of it called again? Is it in Enigma Shift? Hold on, let me look this up.
It's on that one's on YouTube.
Yeah.
The Passiflora version is on YouTube. Let me see.
I know it's in Enigma something.
It's in Enigma Schiffer.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of that version, but
I think Lady Morgue is better than an Enigma Schiffer. It's a more fleshed out version of the same song. Like if like out of the two, I prefer the Lady Morgue that was on So Far So Noir, but it's also like it's another repetitive song.
The thing I love about it is the way he's singing it. It's less about what he's singing, and it's just like the style of how he's singing it. I really like it. Really just tickles something. You know, it's very quiet. You know, like it's very compared to like if you listen to like like a lot of other like Subvision songs. There's like they're very loud and very
Body
bombastic.
voltage.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. Like and then you have Lady Morgan. It's very pulled back, and it's the saddest sounding one. Like he sounds so sad. It's okay. You'll be fine.
It's like with that line you said about the a withered uterus, your sorcery, and apparently not only I could be in thee. That's a very pretentious way of saying I got cheated on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean
You
that in the
bewitched
most
me
loving
with your
way.
pussy, and then that somebody else said, "You bitch."
Basically. But can we also
You-
discuss how it sounds like the beginning of The Pretender by Foo Fighters mixed with Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers? The doom 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 doom.
Yeah.
He was
It
just in
does.
his Red Hot Chili Peppers phase.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
because
in his like
the Pretender hadn't come out yet.
yeah, he was in his like little punk, you know, emo phase, and he was like really feeling it. Very sad,
Sad
you
little
know.
boy.
He had that story where he talked about around that time where he went to a festival or something with his mum.
Oh yeah, with Patti Smith.
You remember? I don't know. Yeah, and he heard that song and it made him feel a bit better. You know, like she sang something and it made him feel a bit better. I always think about that when I listen to Subvision. Just
I
like
think
a
it's
little
called
sad.
Dancing Barefoot.
Yeah. Just think about a little sad Tobias Forge's mum at a festival, listening to, and just being like, you know what, it'll be okay. It'll be fine.
But then
I'll
like
find something.
it goes into Fault, which that's one of my it's not my favorite, but it's up there. It's
Yeah.
so it's groovy. So groovy.
I feel like the thing that held Subvision back, sadly, is production. I feel like if he had access to what he has now, Subvision would sound amazing. Like if Subvision, like if he had access to the gear and the actual like studios and stuff, because it sounds like people pulling money together to try and get a studio, and
Yeah.
you can kind of hear the budget, the lack of budget.
If I'm totally honest, if he was gonna bring Subvision back, I want him in like the leather outfits, singing about pussy instead of like Axl Rose again. Like that's what
Yeah.
I want him to bring back. He's growing his hair out. Maybe it could be happening.
I love that video, that live video from that era of him in the stripy shirt with the
Oh
long
my god, the
hair.
stripy shirts, that was a thing.
And again, Subvision's another band where you see his need for a uniform, the stripy
god, yeah.
shirt. You know what I mean? Like it's just fascinating. He's so fascinating to look at because it's just like he has to have a uniform on stage. He can't just be like go on stage as himself. He has to have a specific outfit he has to wear. So like when he goes
Yeah.
on stage, this is that's not me. It's because like he said in that interview where he was like he never saw himself becoming. He thought he had to turn in to somebody else to become a rock star because he himself is not. We always bring this up about him saying about himself not being interesting, but it's just you can see it visually, even in like Repugnant and Subvision. Like he has these outfits that he constantly wears, and I just find that so fascinating to look at. Just imagine him like packing his little outfit and like, let's go.
Bless him.
I'm
gonna run through these ones just because they're again not my favorites. Beyond the Moon, it's great. It's got a good line where it's got still snowman succumbs to the spring, which I was like, that's
it's lovely.
And then we got Sycamore, which that
I like
that's my opinion.
Sycamore.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's cute.
It's more the vocals I'm not a fan of, which that says a lot if I don't like the vocals on something that's Tobias Forge related. But might just be a hot take.
Hot take.
That is my
One
hot
time he didn't.
take.
One time he didn't sing too good on this.
Yeah. But we then got Son of May. And this is filled with so many things. Just like where he's like, Son of May, son. And it's like, Mr. Freemason, hello.
Yeah.
Because there's been a few with Subvision with like, you've got the eye in the Subvision logo, you've got Mason. Wait, is it May Songs it's copyrighted by? At least Pearls for Pig Snops was. So there's all this like Freemason
yeah.
imagery.
Yeah.
But he also says, he says, go find your shelter in our secular haze. And it's like, a reference?
Ghost reference.
A reference? This early on?
I would love to. I know he said that, like, Square Hammer and stuff isn't. I know this is about Ghost, but I know he said like Square Hammer isn't about Freemasonry and stuff. I would love to like ask. I can't if he would even talk about it. Like, it's like, what is this with Freemasonry? Because like Freemasonry in Sweden, especially,
It's
is
very Christian.
It's very Christian. It's a very and also like Freemasonry in general is just very much like the opposite of kind of what he talks about. Like, there's the women allowed in it. It's a boys' club. Like, the thing with Freemasons is there's like my town has a Freemason church, like a massive Freemason building in the middle of it, and you can call them up. Like, they're not like some. It's not like the Hellfire Club, where they met underneath a building with hoods and like torches. Like, it's just they're business people, that are like that want to have secret handshakes and shit. That's what it is, and they're all just Christian about it. But they have this whole thing where it's like they rule the world. Like, they don't really. You can just literally ring the building up and be like, "Hello." And he probably like he was. I'm kind of answering my own question, but he does like Jack the Ripper, and there was that whole theory that the Freemasons were involved with Jack the Ripper, so that might be where it kind of came from,
He signed up to get more info.
Yeah, but the thing with the Swedish Freemasons is you have to have somebody who will sign a letter and be like, yes, this person is a Christian who goes to church and stuff like that there. What fucking person did he con in to sign a letter for him to be like, yeah, let me in, and he kind of coming in, like, did the whole thing with a notebook. And he's like walking around with a notebook, writing all this stuff down, and then like peacing out. I just find the Freemason thing kind of fascinating because with Freemasons all over the world, outside of Sweden, you just kind of have to say there is a God. You don't have to say there is only one God. You can say there is a God. They prefer if you're Christian leaning, but you don't really have to be. You can be, Jewish or whatever. But in Sweden, you have to be a Christian. You have to say that there is one God only.
Yeah.
And you have to have somebody that will basically give you a reference letter. Yeah, and be like, this person comes to church. They are very Christian. They, that this is true. And I'm like, and people who think he's still a Freemason, like, they would not let him stay in the Freemasons the way he runs around talking. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, he runs a church, but it's got the word anti in front of it. They just cross that out.
Yeah. There's a Christ in there.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
But I know it's off topic, but yeah.
No, but even like the flooring in like the Pale Tour Named Death and I think Rats on the Road, where they had and even before that with Terza, they had the checkered flooring, which is seen in a lot of Masonic temples.
Yeah. And then also there's a statue of Secondo sitting on the seat, and it has kind of like the Freemasonry thing over the top of it. Like, to be honest, like it didn't help. Again, I'm kind of going off topic. Sorry, but it's like it didn't help with the lawsuit where the guy's like, he's a Freemason, that's why he won the lawsuit. And that it just shows you they had literally nothing else to say about him. Like, what can we do? I understand, like, if the imagery of Freemasonry is kind of fun. Like, thank God he picked Freemasons and not Nazis. That's all,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, thank God. Like, I'll take the Freemasons. I'll take it all. I just find his fascination with them is it's. I'd love to talk to him about it, but he probably never would talk about it because he's worried about people thinking he is a Freemason. I'm like, no, I don't care if you are or not. I just want to know what it is. Like.
But then even so, aren't they sworn to secrecy?
Yes,
Yeah.
but again, it's more down to it's a bunch of men wanting to have a boys' club with a secret handshake.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
allowed to know because you're a girl. Like, okay. All right,
I mean, if
boys.
it's I think the thing that a lot of people like, I didn't know. I thought they were just a weird bunch of weird religious weirdos who were trying to take over the world, but actually they apparently donate like a lot to charities and to local
Yeah.
communities and stuff. If he's involved with that, good on him. But yeah.
It's it's one of those things. It's like the Illuminati. They kind of get blended in with the Illuminati. That
That's what I
whole
always thought.
conspiracy of the Illuminati. So but like it's businessmen, usually like again like judges and high-ranking business owners in an area. You know, this is not me support. I just support. This is not me like um being a spokesperson for the Freemasons. I'm just saying. I
Join
also had a
now.
fascination. I am now apparently, but no. But I get the fascination with the Freemasons because like I also had that because again it was in my town and like it's in the center of my town. So and it's like it looks like it's a really big building and they have like a giant Freemason symbol like on the front of it and everything. And so like as a kid I was obsessed with it. I was like, what is this?
Mm.
What? You know? So like I learned a lot about it just out of just general looking into it. Like again, the Freemasons go back like hundreds of years and all this here, and you know this whole thing's about to be like attached to like the Spanish Inquisition and stuff. You know, as well.
Nobody
You know,
expected that.
which nobody expected, even though they were like given warnings 2 to 3 weeks beforehand. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition unless the appointment's ready. But yeah, like sorry, I know we kind of went off topic here. Sorry, but yeah,
That's
I
okay.
just find that fascinating. I just find the Freemason stuff that he puts in. I find it very fascinating, and it's just peppered throughout everything. Because again, thank God it's Freemasons and not the Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
Could have been an Iron Cross.
Well, the next song we've got is I cannot say this.
Necropolis.
Necropolis. This is my favorite, not including Pooney Tune, but in terms of like actually what's musically good. This is my
Mhm.
favorite. Isn't it meant to be like a movie soundtrack or something? Or like if he was going to write for a movie soundtrack, this was what he'd do.
I'm not sure.
I just love the little toy piano or toy xylophone thing that is in it. So cute.
Yeah.
It's just a really good song.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to that thing of like he's always been a spooky boy, no matter what genre he is in. You know, like he has to be spooky. You know, like he can't just be writing sad emo songs. He has to be spooky, sad emo songs.
He's
You
a
know,
spooky bitch. He's a spooky bitch.
he's a spooky bitch.
It's the
We love him
city of the
for it.
living dead.
Yeah.
And then next up is Eraserhead, and there's some. Why is it's very Spanish sounding? It's got like castanets and like the kind of thing. In. I'm not very good at reviewing the tracks, as you can probably tell. I run a music publication. I can't fucking review for shit. But like, apparently, someone said I can't remember who that it was. Like the theory they had was it was about like forgetting all the sexual encounters he had with this person because it was like erase her head or just like erasing her face as like so it's either sexual or not. But I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him to not make it about dicks.
Well, the whole kind of thing of Subvision is him kind of talking about, you know,
His penis.
wanting to forget. Yeah, his penis and his penis being sad. You know.
Yeah.
So and Eraserhead is a movie as well. There's a baby in that.
Yes.
And the whole thing on
So
TikTok.
again, horror
about
films.
yeah, this whole thing on TikTok in a minute. I would look after the Eraserhead baby. But yeah, like the whole album is basically him kind of lamenting on the hurt. So like I wouldn't be surprised if it's by him trying to forget somebody, you know, like I said, like Subvision is something that I haven't really fully like Subvision's like the part of his music catalog that kind of just plays and I'm like yes, and I kind of bob along to it.
Yeah.
I haven't really delved very deep into it, but in general, like outside bobbing, it definitely does sound like he's, you know, because like there's that thing, a lost companion with a heart to mend. There's this girl
Mm.
with whom none compare. There's this girl, his castle of air. Lovely lyrics. Like like she's like nobody compares to her, but she's it's just she's not there anymore.
Is this his
Um,
Sinead O'Connor?
yeah. Nothing compares to you. Gets a cease and desist letter from Prince. Prince's estate.
Well, you can't. He's dead, so who
Yeah, his
cares?
estate. Well, it's just a zombie Prince. Don't sing that. Oh God. But yeah, it's like the whole kind of overall. It is very when you look at the comparison of the EP to the album. There's
Mm.
so opposite feelings.
Yeah.
Like the EP, the first EP with Poontang and all and whatever,
Yeah.
Poonie Tunes, is him being like, God, I want a girlfriend. And then the EP is him going, Where? Women! Stop it!
I'm so sad. I had a girlfriend and now I don't.
Yeah, like, it's like literally the opposite ends of the feelings of like, damn, I'm so
Yeah.
lonely, I need a girlfriend. Damn, I'm so lonely, he left me.
There is
Where's the
no
sweet in
in
the middle?
between.
Well, that kind of ties in because with Until You're Mine, I'm just looking at the lyrics, and this one where it's like, where is it? You are beautifully lean, like someone on the screen, bearing your fruit in a leathery suit. Quite a scene, and it's like, and he's like going Until You're Mine. And it's like, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her so good.
Look at her, she's so sexy, she looks like a movie star. Look
In
at
her
her,
leather.
Angelina Jolie.
But no, it's such a fucking weird disco-y number. It weirdly reminds my dad was in a band in the 80s, and it was very like Style Council kind of late jam kind of band, and it really reminds me of the music he used to make. Not that anyone knows what that sounds like, but I'm just saying.
It also definitely sounds like if you're looking at Until You're Mine, kind of just looking for the lyrics, it definitely sounds like it sounds like he's singing about somebody who's lives in America, you know?
Let me
So
look.
what do you say? Are you going my way? 'Cause into the night goes Star-Spangled Flight away from today.
Oh god, never thought of that. That's
So it sounds like
See-
he's singing about somebody who doesn't live in Sweden. He's like, don't live. You
yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Hmm.
Star Spangled Flight. They're flying back to America.
yeah. He's basically saying, you're leaving tomorrow, we could totally fuck. DTF?
Yeah.
Question mark? Slipping a piece of paper over with check yes.
A little wink.
That thing in The Simpsons with guess who likes you? And looking around at Millhouse like wiggling his eyebrows
Wink.
at Nelson. Just out of Tobias Forge.
I guess then the post Subvision thing we do have to quickly mention, and I know a lot of us have opinions on this, is what then turned into Passive Flora.
Oh
The other sad boy album we don't get to hear.
no.
I still hope one day somehow it gets released. Like where
Yeah.
like Tobias like finally decides like, you know what? It's fine. Let's just release it to the world.
Please, I'm begging.
I love
Please.
House of Affection is probably one of the most beautiful things he's ever written.
Oh, for real.
Oh,
It's
And
definitely.
so like so 60s, 70s feeling, it's so groovy, like
Melancholic, groovy.
yeah, it's beautiful. I love sometimes I'll just sit and have it on YouTube on repeat, like because it's just so easy to listen to.
Again, is it sexual? Because you're coming on your own. We'll never know
I
with
don't-
him.
I don't think it's really I don't think it's sexual. I think the way I viewed it is kind of like don't bring any baggage with you, if that makes sense. Like
Mm.
maybe it's somebody who was in a relationship that was quite messy, and
Yeah.
he's like, I just want you. I don't want them as well. Like
I don't want your problems.
no, it's not about not wanting your problems. I just don't want, like it's the kind of whenever you're, the idea of getting into a relationship with somebody who is just come out of something that's probably been very like intense.
Oh, and
You
their ex
know?
is still hanging about trying to like fuck
Yeah,
about.
and kind of like, I want you. I don't want, come by yourself. Don't bring them with you into this. Like that's how I viewed it. I might be completely wrong, and it might be just another horny reference. But the way I always viewed it is him to kind of that thing of like cautiously, talking about getting into a relationship with somebody that might have just kind of got out of something that's a bit messy, and him being like tentatively putting out the feelers of like, I want you, but only you, and not this mess behind you.
Yeah.
you know.
I just know that the studio version of The Breeze fucking slaps,
Oh
even though
yeah.
I've not heard it. But the live version that's on YouTube, where he, like I said, I think we debunked this whether he is or isn't in pants, but
He's just
that
wearing
one.
very badly colored trousers.
But I love that song. I want to hear it
Yeah.
like properly. Sorry.
Because I like that little period again. Because like I'm fascinated with his little uniforms. Where he like that little period of time where he was doing that music, he was dressed like a youth pastor for some reason.
Yeah, like black shirt, light trousers. That was the uniform.
Yeah, like that was his uniform for that. Was that, and he looks like the most inoffensive person. You know what I mean? And I just find it, like, again, fascinates me that this is the same guy that did Repugnant. And I'm just like, it's just, it's like a little, like a joke the other day and called him, like, Tobias 1,000,000 Faces Forge. But he is, like, he's gone through so many iterations and, like, I did see an argument of somebody once said that, well, that makes him inauthentic. And it's like, no, that just makes him somebody trying to figure out who he is and what works.
Yeah.
Because there's always the same underlying theme in everything he writes and talks about, if that makes sense,
Yeah, it's just the image is
spookiness.
different.
Yeah, it's just which sound is going to work, you know?
I mean, we've got sort of a version of Savant Guard that's that MCC put out, which is apparently is from those that have heard Passiflora near enough exactly the same as how obviously it's just Martin singing it.
Yeah.
And that's fucking gorgeous. So
I
it's
haven't
like,
listened to that.
oh, you should, it's good. But
I'll
like
have to
listen
listen.
to it and just imagine Toe Bright in it. It's then it kind of you get the feels a bit more. Yeah. So to wrap up, if you everyone pick a Subvision song, what's your faves?
Room 611 for me. I love that so much.
Banging.
And also House of Affection, but like that's just, that's either side Subvision. That's him by himself, but Room 611.
Yeah, I would say either Room 611 or Scenario.
For me, it's probably gonna be Until You're Mine or Necropolis.
Samesies. As I've said, mine's Necropolis and Pootie Tune.
Yeah.
Two very different songs.
Look, I don't know what letter illness I am, but it's got
I don't know what part of the
something to
alphabet I am.
But
But
it
it's in
says
there.
something about me. That is a very high tale telling of me because that happens a lot in my life.
Yeah. I definitely need to give Subvision more of a listen, like more of like an in-depth listen, because like I have only like all the opinions I've had. I've like again like Subvision has been one I've just kind of listened to, like not really delved very deep into. I've looked at the lyrics and stuff, I haven't really listened a lot to the EP, the Pearls for Pigs Slops.
You should. It's amazing.
Yeah, I really need to. I need to find a good scan of the lyrics because, like, I don't understand this thing with all of his older stuff and nobody being able to scan it at high quality.
Oh, I'll get it for you. I've got
Have
it.
you?
Yeah, I'll try and scan it. I mean, they're written poorly. Like, I got stressed out because I was reading it, and the way he writes his eyes, he only like dashes the top, so it looks like T's. So it looks like tits at the beginning of Poonie Tune,
but
and Tim instead of I'm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll try and scan it. But like he writes really fucking weird, and it's all like
squished a lot of stuff into a very small space. But
yeah, but yeah, I'll try and scan it.
Yeah. Because he wrote out he wrote out all the big massive titles and then went shit, I thought it was space.
Yeah.
I didn't pan this out properly, fucking.
Like when you're a kid and you're trying to make a birthday card. Oh shit.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
He's like the day is like squished into like the corner.
Anyone else got anything to say before I wrap up?
No.
Yay, Subvision.
Yay,
Woo!
Subvision.
I'm so sorry that a bunch of women hurt you, but I'm glad we got some like fire music out of it.
Get
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
It's like we're from the future. It's fine.
You're gonna be fine.
You got a good line. It got a good lady and kids out of it. It's fine.
It's okay.
You got
I love
a
all the
beautiful,
pictures.
loving wife, beautiful,
I love all
loving,
the
supportive wife, and two
yeah.
beautiful children.
I love all the pictures as well. Oh, actually, one thing I want to talk about is the album So Far Noir. There's really cool details in that of the inside. If you look at the because I was looking on Facebook and Subvision Unofficial had posted it and he was talking about it. You can see like the indents, like when you look at the front of it. Obviously, it has the picture frames like on the front, and then if
Oh
you
yeah,
look
where
on
it's
the back, you can see it like shadowed. Like
where it's faded.
yeah, and I think that's just like the design of that album for that like is so like the actual visual design of that album is like so good for like you know for being such an early kind of like we talked about it as well with Repugnant. Like his visual kind of designs on the early stuff is you could see like the sparks of what Ghost would end up becoming. You know, like he's always had such a good eye for like the what especially whatever genre he's in. He knows exactly you know this is what I need to do for this. You know what I mean? Like
He always
this
understands the assignment.
yeah.
Mm.
Didn't he say
I'm
that
just
recently or something? And he was like, yeah, because it's my job. Oh no, that was
yeah.
Sebastian Stan. Sorry.
Oh.
So somebody said this about Sebastian Stan. He always understands the assignment. He's like, yeah, that's my job. It's just like it sounded like a Tobias answer just in my head as well. He's like,
I'm
yeah.
I'm just looking at the photo in the middle where it's like literally him and this little scrawny ass with his striped shirt, striped pants. Bring back those striped pants, they look great. And his cons looking moody as fuck. I love it.
He still had the long hair, the black long hair as
The
well.
bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just pulling out all the CD now, just seeing if I can find any more references. There's little icons at the bottom of each song track which are interesting that say
Yeah,
like an eye under Son of May, a little plus for Lady Morgue.
Mhm.
Out of 10, A-star design. I know that's probably
yeah.
Claudia Marino, but 10 out of 10.
But
Right.
he's got such a good visual eye for things as well as like the lyrics and music and stuff. Like I feel like his like Ghost really let him obviously expand all of that because it was like not just albums he was working on, it was like himself and
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
He could just throw everything on, up and be like, yes, finally. And I think like if you look at like his pre-Ghost stuff, the reason it didn't work is because he was only focusing on one thing that he liked. You
Yeah.
know, I like death metal. I'm gonna make death metal music over here. I like pop punk kind of music. I'm gonna make that over here. Ghost is like the combination of everything that he likes, like shoved together,
Yeah.
and that's why it worked. Because he finally was making music that covered everything.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
feel like that's why
yeah.
the previous stuff didn't.
Yeah, like kind of what you're saying, like, yeah, his previous stuff was just like, kind of like one part of his interests, whereas like Ghost is like completely everything. He's combining everything he's ever liked. It's fully him.
Yeah.
Which is why it's again, it's so frustrating how he's always just like, I don't think I'm very interesting, and it's just like, but literally
But
the band, your most successful band is the one that is the most you out of everything you've ever done. It's the most you, and you have the fucking nerve that you're not interesting.
How dare you, sir? How dare?
how
Shame.
dare you?
Fail. Shame.
Shame, shame.
Shame him. I'm just glad we got Ghost now.
Yes,
Yay for
yes.
Ghost.
For real, for real. Yeah,
Yay.
goes.
I was gonna say, and obviously the next thing is we're gonna try and deconstruct all of the Ghost albums, which I've got to.
I'm so excited.
I gotta up my fucking game on how you review
Yes.
shit because I can't fucking
Same.
talk about songs.
I know.
Apparently.
I listen to how Alana describes all these things, and I'm just like, I am so not as prepared as I should be.
Yeah, I'm just
not
like
prepared either. This is me bullshitting. I'm not prepared in the slightest. I prepared yesterday. I went up.
Your bullshitting is better than any of like what I do when I do like my fucking research. I'm
exactly like I got a fucking music publication where I review albums and concerts, and I can't fucking do this.
Basically the way you do it is you fully embrace the autism and just go fuck it. Just let it take over your life.
And I'm just like, oh, here's conclavi condio. It goes badum badum badum. Funny noises, funky, spooky, yay.
Yeah, my review of songs are just like, it sounds cute, he sounds fun, and then you'd have like a full like authentic breakdown of his lyrics and like, you know, what all of these different things mean. I'm like, fuck. I just sound like a fucking idiot now.
I appreciate that my bullshitting is because I talk like this all the
I say
time.
this with full respect. I say this with full respect that, like, you know, the way you review things is like, I'm like, man, what the fuck am I doing wrong?
It's one of those things where it's like I don't like I don't really know what I'm trying to say. It's just one of those things where it's like it's autism. I don't know. I've completely lost. But yeah, I'm absolutely just. It's one of those things where I've always just been. I'm just fascinated with the way he writes things and just. He has such a way with words, and then we talk about like him talking about fusion restaurants. I know why he does that.
Again, this podcast is sponsored by autism.
It is, but like it's I understand why he why he constantly like brings up the fusion restaurants because like he has to. You don't know how many interviews this man does a day, and there's only so many times you can say the same thing. You know what I mean? So like he's just sticking to like a song sheet. You know, fusion restaurants, dick references, James Hetfield,
Liberal mothers.
liberal mother. God bless that woman as well. She never gets enough shout outs. But he has such a like you can just hear all of his interests in his music. Like all the books, all of the movies, you know, the music that he loves. You can hear it all and I'm obsessed with it because it's I'm so glad that he's successful. He deserves it, you know?
Yeah,
Like
and then I love how he's like, I know this was a Subvision episode, but like I'm talking about Ghost again.
Yeah.
I just love how like the way he kind of like structured Ghost, or like, you know, how he like, you know, goes about it. It like Ghost is allowed to be a little like flexible with like kind of like the styles that they touch on. And he's able to like kind of like, you know, explore these different like genres that he's a fan of, and like these different topics that he finds interesting. He designed Ghost in a way where he's able to like really like be as experimental as he wants to be, and everyone loves it. And like I think that, like, you know, it gives him like a push to like keep being himself, because like when he's like fully his most authentic self, or like when he's allowed to express like all of his full interests, I feel like that's when when he really shines, is when he feels like the most confident, and it shows. And then because we appreciate it more.
Yeah. And he also has, you can definitely see as well, he always has a very clear, like, he talks about it in a negative sense of, like, he always has a clear idea of what the bands are supposed to sound like. Like, the songs are already
not a bad
written.
thing.
The band names, the band name is already picked. The way the band is going to look's already been decided, you know, and so people come in and then obviously they can't, you know, they're like, we want to do something. And he's like, well, tough shit. Learn these, you know, and it's like we're talking about, like, again, like even just like with Subvision, like the difference in the lyrics from the EP to So Far Noir. Like you can like the the depth that he will get, you know, like as he gets better as a writer, you know.
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
more
Like
metaphorical.
Yeah, I am so excited for whatever the next Ghost album's going to sound like, because like the last one was phenomenal, and it's just going to be better and better. Like everything he has released has just got stronger and stronger as he's gone on, because like he's just getting more like confident in his writing and his music, and he's getting more resources, and you can hear it as the music goes on. The more resources he's getting, you know, and like he says as well about the drum, like, you know. He, you know, it's like, you know, putting like he said, putting somebody on a desert island, like, here's some salt, you know, for your food, you know, like it's brilliant. Like and that's again, like, I know it's about Subvision, and I don't want to, you know, constantly harp on about Passiflora, but that's why I'm sad about we don't have that, because there is like, it's an important little like stepping stone from Subvision to Ghost in the writings, in his writing, and like, I want to hear it. Let me hear it, please. At least just give me the
Once.
lyrics.
Just
Yeah.
once. I just want to know.
Yeah. Hum it to me. Badly. What does it sound like? Give me the lyrics and then hum me the song. You know.
Put two and
But
two
yeah.
together.
We're
Yeah,
hanging on the
I'll
fence.
work it out.
We're hanging on the fence yelling, "Let me in!"
Yeah. But yeah, it's talking about his old stuff has just been great, because you just see you know, him going from a 19-year-old, you know, Satanist who's like
Edgelord.
edgelord, you know, to like a 20-odd-year-old sad boy.
And
You
now a
know,
43-year-old slaying king.
yep. Who's the top of the world, you know, and like all his hard work is paid off, and the thing about him is he's put the grind in, you know what I mean? Nobody like there are people like, obviously, like James Hetfield and Paul Zemo and stuff like that there. You know, people who like, and Iron Maiden and all, who took them out early on, you know, who like really liked the music, but nobody opened the door for him, you know? Like Ghost was an organic thing on MySpace
Yeah.
that happened for him because it was good, you know? And he put the grind in, he put the work in, and all of this stuff beforehand. He might not like Subvision, like there's that, in a, you know, like the Vision CD, and he's like, he's got that face of like, yeah, I did that, you know. Like, he might not like it, but it's a stepping stone of his grind that he put in, you
Yeah,
know.
it's his journey and his story.
Yeah, like he has every right to not like it, because he can be like, that's, you know, like you look at your own tweets from like 2008 and you're like, oh god, you know, like but it's great talking about his old stuff, because he's always wanted to do this, you know. Like, I've always wanted to do, you know, you believe it, you know.
He always wanted to be an entertainer, and he's very entertaining.
He is very
Real.
entertaining. Yeah.
I suppose as well, because it's quite biographical, maybe he doesn't want to be reminded of the actual events of that time.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
worth it, because bangers.
Yep.
Again, I'm like, I'm sorry you got your heart broken, and like you just had very bad luck with love, but like the songs are great.
Slaps.
10 out of 10.
Same thing with how with Prequel. Like Prequel is such a we'll talk about it more when we get to like the Ghost albums, about like Prequel is such like a hate album, and he was so angry, and he was like going through so many things, but Prequel is like a chef's
Regina
kiss
George era.
album.
Yeah, it was so good.
It was so good, but you know he was going through shit.
Oh
Oh yeah.
yeah,
It's like
but he
I hate
used it. He used it
yeah,
for fuel.
I'm so sad. So many bad things happened. Oh, but goddamn, that album slapped.
All right. On that note, Katie, where can we find you?
At C2May on Twitter.
Lana.
Hitchixie Fairy on Twitter, TikTok, and Tumblr.
Cammy.
Your fave guestie at all social media platforms.
I am Alva. You know where I am, sadly. All right. Bye.
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 Bye.